Shin on Shin is a variation of the traditional butterfly guard because we're going to use our hook, but instead we're going to use this part of our shin with an active hook in front of our opponent's shin, hence the name of the guard. There are some folks that play Shin on Shin as an advanced guard of their own, and that is a more advanced and complex position that we'll get into later. But the base of the Shin on Shin position is useful because it stops our opponent's forward progress and doesn't let them smash us. So we're going to use this video to show you how you can use that Shin on Shin technique to defend common pressure passing techniques, especially the knee cut, and then if they insist on pursuing that, or even if they don't and you want to force them to, how we can use this position to enter the single leg X guard or other guards that we want to play as well. So let me have Jesse be on in combat base here, right? So butterfly guard we think of as this, with 2 feet in front of us. Shin on Shin is where I have my shin against his shin, and very important, I make an active hook here, not pointed toes like a ballerina on point. Ballerinas are badass athletes, but we're doing jiu-jitsu right now. And so here, like if I have my toe on point, Jesse can just kind of cut through pretty easily. Whereas here, it's going to be easy for me to stay attached to him. Now, why would I want to do this? If Jesse splits my legs, Jesse knee cut past me, you see how immediately I'm on the defensive, right? And Jesse's already initiating his passing position where he's dropping weight on me. He's getting past some of my main defenses. He's already past my feet, past my knees. He's trying to crest my hips. It's bad news for me. So what I'll do, and I want to explain how this defends the knee cut pass. A lot of times if I know an opponent is trying to knee cut, I'll scoot back, and as they come forward, I'll insert the Shin on Shin hook. And now all I'm going to do to demonstrate this is have Jesse try the knee cut. See how he can't come forward? And if he tries to come forward, you see what happens to his weight? It goes up in the air, right? Now Jesse's smart enough and accomplished enough at jiu-jitsu that he knows, okay, I better put my weight backward, or else I'm going to get elevated and swept, right? We'll get into some ways you can use this position to sweep in a second by grabbing an opposing sleeve or something like that. But the most important thing that I want y'all to get just at first, particularly if you're in the open guard against the person who likes to draw pressure, is when they start to crowd you, you can back off and insert that hook, right? And so at the very least, you're stopping them from advancing their position. But there's other things that we can do from here too. There are 2 entries to guards, to other guards that I want you to talk to you about. If your intent is just to continue to play open butterfly guard, great, right? By putting this Shin on Shin hook here, we've defended that guard, now we can back off and we're back where we wanted to be. But we can also use this to get into the single leg X guard and also the deep half guard, just depending on our preference and our opponent's reaction. The 2 things we're going to want to do is we're going to want to, yes, use it. We're not going to like actively lift here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to come inside and peel his leg that way as my hook gives just a little bit of lift here. And as that happens, it allows me to get into my single leg X guard. See how that puts Jesse off balance and he's forced to post with his hands? That's ideal, right? And if Jesse is able to just stay up basically square with us, the entry to the single leg X is right there, right? So I'm going to show that one more time, and then talk about what happens if we're able to disrupt his base a little bit more. Let's actually show that twice, from this angle and from another angle. So you see we have the Shin on Shin hook, you see we have the active toes. I want to peel him a little bit this way because that's going to make his weight go a little bit this way and might force him to post. As we do that, there we go. You know, we have our heel on his hip, toes pointed out. Very important that my knees pinch together so we can't move. Those of you that are able to do advanced leg locks, you probably already saw there's ways we can expose the heel, start attacking there. But the purpose of this video is just to show here's how you get into the single leg X guard from there. So let's show that from this angle. My opponent's coming forward in combat base. I put my Shin on Shin hook in front. I'm going to grab and peel out this way. As this happens, it lifts his weight, I shoot my hips forward. See where his kneecap is? It has to be behind my knee line. If there's an imaginary line between my 2 knees, if I'm here, Jesse trying to get away, really hard. If I'm not high enough, Jesse tries to get away, now I'm in trouble, right? This is why we always want to move our hips up and pinch our knees together. So now, even if I don't have a grip, I stay attached to it, right? The last thing, I'm going to show you a bonus entry to another guard, which is the deep half guard. Now, this depends both on your preferences and on your opponent's reaction. That entry to the single leg X guard is a very, very high percentage entry, and we can play that guard effectively whether he remains in combat base or whether he chooses to stand. But if he definitely wants to kneel, which is all, you know, a big entry point in these situations if he wants to stay low and pressure pass. We're gonna wanna lift that weight and get underneath him and trap him in what we call the deep half guard. And so if Jesse's knee is up, I'm gonna do the same thing on the left side, or as I peel it out, lift this leg, you can see that creates space. On the far side, I'm gonna dive under. My hand's gonna come over in here as my ear goes for spar hip. Right? And those of you that have played the deep half guard, if we rotate around, you can see I'm already in nice and deep. Let's do that 2 more times. A couple different angles. Let's go straight on. Because again, and really, there's 2 factors that go into this decision. For one thing, you might just be going for one guard or another. For another, he might give you the reaction that really allows you to get to one of these. If he stays totally square with us and we're not able to disrupt his balance, this is what we're going to get. But if we're able to successfully lift and create space in this real estate, very easy for me to get to the deep half. I'm going to show that one more time with some details. Get the shin on shin hook. Cup right where the calf meets the knee pit. This hand is going to dive palm up under his far leg as I lift this leg in the air and swing my own body underneath. This has the advantage for those of you that try to play deep half with hooks. You can see I already have my front hook here. And if Jesse tries to move, I'm attached to him. I'm on the floor, which allows me to disrupt his base. If I make myself the floor, it's going to make the sweeps that we do later easier. So, shin on shin hook, we can use it to disrupt their base if they try to pass and just reset our guard. We can use it to enter the single leg X guard or the ashigarami position, and we can use it to enter the deep half guard. A lot of great sweeps from all those positions.